Hello friends, my name is Dr. Jisha Singh and in this video I am going to discuss the concept of consideration as provided under the Indian Contract Act 1872. Well, the relevant sections are Section 2D, Section 25 and a passing reference to Section 10. Well, Section 25 makes it amply clear that an agreement without consideration is always void. Now there are three exceptions to this rule which are given in the section itself. Now, for example, the O is the offerer and he makes an offer to A, the acceptor. If the offer is of no use to A, he will reject it. That is, he will not accept it. Ordinarily, an offer is made only for benefit and in return, it is accepted for some benefit. The expectation of offerer in return of the offer from the acceptor is consideration. An act or omission which offerer expect in return of the offer from the acceptor amounts to consideration. Acceptor is a person who supplies the consideration. There are some legal definitions of the consideration also, which are: consideration is the price for which the acceptor purchases the offer of the offerer. Consideration is the recompense given by the acceptor to the offerer for the offer. Consideration may be a right, interest, benefit, profit, detriment, loss, responsibility undertaken by the acceptor. Consideration need not always be gain or benefit. It can be non-beneficial loss also, or it can be some kind of a mental satisfaction also. If we analyze the definition of consideration as given under Section 2D of the Act, we can lay down certain points, which are: consideration must be supplied on the request or desire of the offerer or the promiser and nobody else. There are three parties involved: plaintiff, defendant, and collector. Plaintiff is the constructor of shops. Plaintiff, on the suggestion of the collector, constructed certain shops which were given on rent by plaintiff to the defendant. Defendant is one of the tenant of the shop. The rent deed contained a condition that tenant shall pay to the plaintiff certain commission. For some time commission was paid by the defendant. Later he refused to pay. He filed a suit claiming compensation. Now, the question was, for what consideration? Construction of shop was on whose request? It was at the request of the collector. The first condition of Section 2B was not complied with. In the eyes of law, there is no consideration, as the consideration was not at the request of the promiser. Next point is: consideration may be supplied by the acceptor or by any other person. In this regard, the law of UK is different. Law of UK says that consideration must always be supplied only by the acceptor. However, in India, Section 2D expressly states that consideration can be supplied by promisee or any other person. That is, even a stranger can supply consideration, but only on the request of the offerer. In brief, law of UK is known as doctrine of privity of consideration. That is, no stranger to the party can supply consideration to the offerer, like it is there in case of doctrine of privity of contract, whereby no third party to a contract can sue the party in case of breach. In UK, consideration supplied by third person is always void. Next point is: consideration may be in the form of any act or omission. That is, consideration need not be in money terms always, provided such act or omission is lawful. Next point is: consideration may be past, present, or future. However, in UK, past consideration is always void. But in India, statute is more than clear that past consideration is a valid consideration. For example, son of A missing, request B to help in tracing his son. B traces the son and brings back to A. At the time of agreement, no reward was promised. After the act of B, A announced a reward of rupees 1000 for B for the good done by him. Reward given by A to B for the act already done, so it is past consideration, which is a valid consideration. Now, present consideration could be: example of present consideration could be sale and purchase of articles then and there. For future consideration, if the payment of the good and the delivery of the good take place in the near future, such agreements are future agreements. So there is a future consideration involved. Now, some additional points for the legal consideration must also be fulfilled. Consideration need not be adequate. Now, if a voluntarily with free consent offer to sell his second-hand car with worth rupees 2 lakh at rupees 1000, this is a perfectly valid consideration, even if it is inadequate. So generally, according to the consideration to be valid, we have to see, we do not see into the inadequacy of the consideration. It is a perfectly valid consideration. Now, if the consideration is inadequate, the court first looks whether the consent was free or not. If the consent is free, then it is a valid consideration. If the consent was not free, then it is not a valid consideration. Again, section 25 expressly states, provides, adequacy of consideration is irrelevant. However, adequacy is relevant for deciding the question of free consent. For deciding legality of consideration, adequacy is irrelevant, but for deciding legality of consent, adequacy is relevant. However, consideration must be of some use, and therefore a totally useless and a worthless act shall not amount to consideration, because though such an act may satisfy the language of the definition but does not satisfy the spirit, substance behind it. Now, consideration need not be adequate provided other conditions are fulfilled. Consideration must have some value in the eyes of law. Now, for example, there is a decided case of UK. There are two parties involved, father and son, and father partitioned his property, and his son in question was of the opinion that while partitioning the property, his father has been unfair to him. That is, due share has not been given to the son by father, and so the son used to complain to the father now and then. Father was fed up with such a behavior of his son, of complaining again and again, as son was in the habit of bothering his father. So father agreed to pay an additional amount to him provided the son stopped complaining to the father. Son stopped bothering his father, but father did not fulfill his promise of paying additional amount to the son. Son filed a suit against the father. Does any consideration supplied? No, agreement is void. In the Indian case, father and son, there were two parties. Father was interested that son should perform some religious ceremonies, but son refused. So father promised him to pay some amount provided he performed the religious ceremonies. Son obliged and he performed ceremony, but after the performance of the ceremony, the father did not pay him any money. Son filed a suit against the father. There was a valid consideration again given by the son on the performance of act religious ceremony. Father benefited in spiritual satisfaction, which amounts to consideration, which may be beneficial as to father in some way or the other. So it has had some value in the eyes of law, and thus it amounted to consideration. Next point is, consideration must be lawful and therefore legally enforceable. Now, performance of an already existing legal or contractual duty, that is no consideration. However, doing something in addition to the existing legal and contractual duty amounts to a valid consideration. For example, of a contractual duty, an agreement was entered in on 1st April 2026, whereby A appointed D as his advocate, and fee which was agreed for the case amounted to rupees 10,000. Section 10, all conditions were complied with, an agreement was enforceable. If D fights his case but A refuses to make the payment, D can sue A. But where after some time A agreed to pay extra 5,000 to D if he wins the case, can advocate legally claim that amount? No, because he cannot claim that amount, because he has done nothing in addition to performing existing contractual duty, and it was the performance of existing contractual duty or legal duties. Another example, the next example is of legal duty. Son of A missing, case assigned to B, a particular sub-inspector or an investigation officer. A requests B to find his son and perform his duties honestly. If he does so, A would pay him 1,000 rupees. Now B does exactly so and traces A's son. Now, can he legally claim 1,000 rupees? No, because it was performance of already existing legal duties, no consideration. But had A asked, in the same case, had asked to perform his duties at a particular time, now he is entitled to payment. He has done something additional to his already existing legal duties. Thus, it amounts to consideration. With this, I conclude this lecture, and in the next video I would be discussing unilateral or charitable promises along with exceptions of section 25. Thank you.